Define ionization enthalpy. It's the amount of energy required to remove a loosely bound electron in the outermost shell of a gaseous atom. So, kilojoules per mole. Ionization enthalpy. Yes. Now, let me start from what I left last class. Copper, coinage metals. Copper is here. Ionization enthalpy, atomic number. Silver, gold should have been here, should have been, that's why dotted line, but gold is here. So, ionization enthalpy, are asked to arrange them in the increasing order. Ionization enthalpy, silver less than gold, less than copper. I asked you to find out also. I asked you to find the number of d orbitals, names of the d orbitals, shapes of the d orbitals, and f orbitals also from the internet. So, let me not go into the details. This is because of the f orbital. Whereas copper and silver, they contain only d electrons. Here f electrons. What is characteristics of d electron, f electron? We have already learnt it last class in terms of screening effect. In terms of the screening effect. Screening effect is also known as shielding effect. Shielding effect. Screening effect or shielding effect. As the name itself suggests, they shield the nucleus, they cover the nucleus. It's like putting a nucleus in a box and close it. And what happens, that nucleus will have less attraction towards electrons. When the box is open, greater attraction. Now, the f orbitals, the screening effect of the readiness with which, effectiveness with which the electrons shield the nucleus is maximum. Screening effect is maximum s orbital, than p orbital, than d orbital, than. So, f electron, if any element has got f electron, it is not able to cover the nucleus. The nucleus is kept open. Than an element which does not contain f orbital, than an element which does not contain d orbital. Why is it so? Shape. It is based on the shape of the orbitals. S orbital is spherical. S orbital is spherical. So, you have the nucleus in the center. You have nucleus in the center. Okay? And let us assume that nucleus is completely covered by the s orbital because it is spherical. And greater the number of s electrons if an element has got, greater the shielding effect. But the moment s orbital will definitely screen the nucleus. The moment you introduce a p electron, the nucleus is slightly exposed because the shape of the p orbital is not going to be, it has got a dumbbell shape. It is not spherical. It has got a nodal plane. Let us assume that the nucleus is going to be there at the nodal plane. Nodal plane. Nodal plane. Nodal plane is a region of minimum electron density. Minimum electron density. The electron density is maximum. It's not, as you should not visualize, you have to, with a word of caution, you should not say electrons revolve around the p orbital and enters in the nucleus. No, it's a different aspect. It's very difficult to visualize an atom and electron. If you want to visualize an electron, forget about the nucleus. Don't go anywhere near this. And that is what we want to do. Chemists, we are interested in the electrons only, not the nucleus. Physicists, they are interested in the nucleus. And what happens, the radioactivity, and how the nucleus is going to be split into smaller one. When the nucleus is fission, have you not heard about the nuclear fission? Nuclear fusion. What happens? Enormous amount of energy is given out. So, we are not going to do anything with the nucleus. Nucleus is going to be intact during the chemical reaction. And what are the changes? The changes only the outermost electron. In some cases, electrons are removed, and some other cases, electrons are added. In some other cases, there is going to be sharing of electrons. Now, This is going to be the p orbital. And what is going to be the d orbital? This is p here. D orbital, this is going to be this. I told you minor axis and minor. This is the minor axis, this is the major axis. This is spherical. The radius is going to be uniform. The minor axis. The major axis, it gets elongated. The moment it gets elongated, the nucleus is slightly exposed, not effectively covered. In the case of d orbital, still more exposed. This is going to be, this is the p orbital and this is the d orbital. The nucleus is more exposed. Now you just imagine f orbital. What should be the f orbital? It's almost like a line. Major axis is going to be very big. Minor axis is going to be negligible. That is going to be the shape of f electrons. Just told you in terms of the crude level, a box completely covered. Box is slightly open. The box is little more open. The box is fully open. The nucleus, when it is fully open, definitely it is going to have attraction towards the electrons, isn't it? What did he say about the effective nuclear charge? What is an effective nuclear charge? Why lithium, beryllium? Complete it. Lithium, beryllium? Complete it. Wait, she is doing it. Carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, what happens to the size? Decreases. Why should the size decrease? Effective. What is that effective nuclear charge? The attraction by the nucleus towards individual electron. The nucleus towards individual electron. So as the nuclear charge increases, the attraction towards individual electron decreases. So that is the reason why as the nuclear charge increases, attraction towards the outermost electron also, and especially when the nucleus is open, when the nucleus is not covered. So definitely should have greater attraction. Now what happens? You come back here, gold, we have f electrons, f orbitals, so the nucleus is open. And more added to that, we have more number of atomic number, isn't it? Don't you think the atomic number increases? This is going to be 29, add 18 here, and this is the fourth period here, this is the fifth period, this is the sixth period. How many electrons in the fourth period here? How many elements in the sixth period? 32. What is the difference here? 18. What is the difference here? 32. Now what I want to say, the number of protons increases tremendously in the case of gold. And not only number of protons increase, the nucleus has got greater effective nuclear charge. Here also we say effective nuclear charge. Why the effective nuclear charge increases in the case of gold? Not only because of increase in the number of protons, but because of the f electrons here. Therefore, when it has got greater attraction to the outermost electron, it is in the sixth period, so where should you have the last electron? The sixth shell. And you find it difficult to remove that single electron from gold. Therefore, ionization energy is going to be greater. Should you not spend more energy to remove an electron from the last shell in the case of the gold? Not strictly speaking, as in the form, like your theory, what happens here? As per the theory here, down a group, ionization enthalpy should decrease. Down a group, ionization enthalpy should decrease for two reasons. What are the two reasons? Atomic radius, number of inner electrons. And they try to repel, inner electron try to cover the nucleus. That is also kind of shielding effect. Inner electron. As the number of inner electron increases, attraction towards the outermost electron decreases, isn't it? Therefore, there is a discrepancy. It takes so much time to explain, but definitely questions, you can answer this. What is going to be the order, or which is going to be true or false? Okay? And what is the assertion and reasoning? Now tell me, let me frame on assertion and reasoning. The ionization enthalpy of gold is greater than that of silver. Is my statement true? Greater than that of silver. Yeah, obviously. The answer is there on the board. Now, what should be the second statement, which should also be true, and it should explain for why the first statement. What should be the second statement? I am asking a new question now. What should be the correct statement, second statement, which should answer the first statement? What is the first statement? The ionization enthalpy of gold is greater than that of silver.
Because of increase in effective nuclear charge and the
Effective nuclear charge due to the f electron, presence of. F electrons. Therefore, it accounts for the first statement. Therefore, answer is A. Make a note of it. Sodium converted to Na plus. Na plus also I try to remove one more electron, Na2 plus, one more electron, Na3 plus, and so on and so forth. And strictly speaking, though these are not called ionization enthalpy is energy required to remove loosely bound electron from the gaseous atom. They are not the atoms. But I can use the same concept here, ionization enthalpy. It's almost the same. I want to remove an electron from the last shell of this particular ion. Therefore, I don't mind calling it as ionization enthalpy 1, IE1, IE2, IE3. Means it is the third ionization enthalpy, third ionization potential, the first ionization potential, second ionization potential, third ionization potential. Now, without explaining any further concepts here, let me straight away go to the IIT question. I got a metal 1, M1, M2, second metal, third metal, and the fourth metal, just for the sake of example. IE1, let me take first two, IE1, IE2, second ionization enthalpy, the third ionization enthalpy, and the fourth ionization enthalpy. Let me say in the case of the metal 1, it is going to be, I am just giving you some value. They don't correspond to the exact thing. That is why I told you unknown metal. Okay. Now, this is going to be 600 kilojoules per mole. All of them are expressed in terms of kilojoules per mole. This is going to be 500 kilojoules per mole. This is going to be 780 kilojoules per mole. This is going to be 2000 kilojoules per mole. 2000 kilojoules per mole. And obviously, the removal of second one becomes very difficult. Therefore, this is going to be 3500 kilojoules per mole, and this could be 3000 kilojoules per mole or 3500 kilojoules per mole, so on and so forth. First of all, you should know IE1 to IE2, I will frame for any element. For any element, I am removing the first electron, removing the second electron. IE1 is always less than IE2. IE2 is always less than IE1. IE1 and IE2 is going to be quite close. The difference is not that much. The difference is going to be very huge. Would you expect IE1 and IE2 should be the same level? Why not? Why not? IE1, do you agree with me that IE1 should consecutively increase as and when you remove one electron, second electron, third electron? What I want to suggest is removal of first electron is always easy. Removal of second electron becomes difficult. Removal of third electron still more difficult, isn't it? Why is it so? Why is it so?
Because the force acting on the other electrons increases.
In the case of neutral atom, you have equal number of protons and electrons. After removed one electron, you get a positive charge. The positively charged nucleus will have greater attraction towards all the electrons. Therefore, the removal of second electron is definitely very difficult. Therefore, what is the point to be highlighted here? Ionization, IE1, IE2, IE3, etc. increases. That IE1 to IE2 to IE3, put an arrow mark, IE3 always should increase, because you find it difficult to remove. Now, let me take this. I will give you. I straight away give you the. Based on the data given here, don't bother. I have not written the IA4. Date on this. M1 and M2. M1 is an alkali metal. M2 is an alkaline earth metal. M2 is alkali metal, M1 is an alkaline earth metal. Both M1 and M2 belong to group 18 elements. Group 18 elements. Which of the, are you able to identify whether M1 is going to be, of the two, which is going to be which? The option is only two. One of them is going to be alkali metal, one of them is going to be alkaline earth metal. Based on the pattern of the ionization enthalpy here, who is going to tell me? How many of you are able to, I will ask you first. How many of you are able to say that this is going to be alkali metal? No, this is going to be the alkali metal. Do you have any explanation for this? Yes. How many of you are not in a position to understand? Raise your hand first. Sir, I am not able to. I have not followed. I am not followed. Yeah, don't bother about your friend. If you don't know, you raise your hand. You raise your hand. Okay. How many of you are able to explain? You raised your hand, and you raised your hand, you raised your hand. And it's a miniature.
Sir, the M2 is alkali metal, sir.
Alkali metal. And M1 is expected to be alkaline earth metal. You tell me one reason why it should be alkali metal, where this is alkaline earth metal.
Because alkali metals have only one valence electron. So when you lose one valence electron, it becomes stable. But then when you try to remove one more electron from a stable configuration, the energy needed is
Energy removed for the second electron extremely high. Energy removed for the third electron is extremely high. If energy removed for the second electron, if there is a very big jump, ionization enthalpy 1, ionization enthalpy 2, ionization enthalpy 3, let us take sodium. Sodium is going to be the electronic configuration 281. And I have removed one electron. What should be the electronic configuration? It becomes Na plus. And what should be electronic configuration? 28. Has it not got the stable configuration? I want to remove still one more electron. Is it that easy? Definitely not. Because therefore, the third ionization enthalpy falls somewhere here, because that is expected to be Na2 plus here. And what should be the configuration? Maybe from that point onwards it might be easy, but even then it's not easy, because we have got 11 protons and 11 electrons here. And this is going to be 11 protons and 10 electrons here, 11 protons and 9 electrons here. So effective nuclear charge increases. Therefore, even though it is going to be, it has already got this unstable, why should it not lose an electron? No, because already it has got two positive charges. Effective nuclear charge increases. You just compare the first ionization, second ionization, third ionization, or in short, you find out in which case you see a big jump. Which case you big jump. Probably this is going to be the pattern of the alkali metals. Do you understand, all of you? It's easy to remove an electron, because after removal of single electron, it has the octet configuration. So you find it difficult to remove. What should be the pattern in the case of alkaline earth metals? What should be the pattern in the case of alkaline earth metals? Let's say this is going to be IE1. Now this is the metal. Say this is going to be the metal. And this is going to be M plus, and this is going to be M2 plus here, and this is going to be M3 plus here. Let me take magnesium. What is the electronic configuration of magnesium? 282. What should be the configuration here? 281. So it's prepared to lose one more electron, because by losing one more electron, but definitely the loss of removal of second electron becomes difficult when compared to the first electron, because there is a positive charge. Therefore, this is going to be the electronic configuration 28 here, and you want to remove one more electron, 27. It's rather difficult, extremely difficult. And what should be the pattern in the case of group 3 element? IE1, first one is IE1, IE2, IE3, IE4 is going to be different. If there is a big jump between IE3 and IE4, it is expected to be a third group element. If there is a big jump between the IE2 and IE3, it is a second group element. If there is a big jump from the IE1 and IE2, and that is the first group element.